The noise of the coal mines echoed like an underground heartbeat. Men covered in dust descended every day into the darkness, where every breath was a fight for life. Among them, a young man with a hard gaze and calloused hands would learn to survive long before he ever dreamed of fighting. His name was George Chipulonis, but the world would know him as George Chip. He was not born a hero, nor did he seem destined for glory. He was just another Lithuanian immigrant in early 20th century America, trying to escape poverty with muscle and silence. But destiny had something greater in store. Among the weight of stones and the sound of hammers, he discovered the strength that would change his life forever. This is the story of the miner who became middleweight champion of the world. George Chip was born in 1888 in Scranton, the son of Lithuanian immigrants who had come to America in search of a better life. As a child, he moved to Newcastle, Pennsylvania, a town where the smell of coal hung in the air and miners returned home with faces so blackened they looked like human shadows. In his youth, Chip divided his time between sports like baseball and football, but it was in the hard labor of the mines that his body grew strong and resilient. Each underground shift molded not only his muscles, but also his ability to endure pain, heat, and exhaustion, qualities that would later become weapons inside the ring. At 20, encouraged by a mine superintendent who saw natural talent in him, George stepped into an improvised ring. With awkward punches but an unshakable heart, he won. The miner had found a new path: boxing. In 1909, George Chip traded his mining tools for boxing gloves. His first bouts took place in small Pennsylvania arenas, where the crowd was made up of workers as weary as he was. But it quickly became clear that this young man had something special: a heavy, almost brutal punch that could end a fight in seconds. Within months, Chip was piling up quick victories, many by knockout. His reputation spread like wildfire. In 1913, destiny placed him before one of the greatest names of the era, Frank Klaus, the reigning middleweight champion. That night in Pittsburgh, nobody believed in the miner from Newcastle. In the opening rounds, Chip seemed only to survive. But in the sixth, he unleashed a right hook that exploded against Klaus's jaw. The champion fell and never rose. The crowd went silent in disbelief. For the first time, George Chip became the man who ruled the world. The title seemed eternal, but boxing rarely allows stability. Just 6 months after conquering glory, George Chip entered the ring against an unlikely challenger, McCoy, a young southpaw considered fragile, with a reputation for lacking knockout power. The fight took place in April 1914, and bettors barely paid attention. But when the bell rang, McCoy followed his trainer's audacious plan: attack immediately. In less than 2 minutes, a short left cross shot upward like thunder and crashed against Chip's exposed chin. The champion fell in devastating fashion. The crown had slipped away as quickly as it had come. For the press, it was a shock. For George, it was like losing not only the belt, but the ground beneath his feet. From the miner who rose to glory to the dethroned ex-champion, the fall was brutal. Defeat did not break him. George Chip returned to the ring with fury, facing feared names like Jack Dillon, Buck Kraus, and even McCoy in a rematch. In 1916, he punished McCoy for 10 grueling rounds, nearly reclaiming the crown. But the southpaw survived on his feet and held on to the title. Chip traveled abroad, fighting in Australia against local idol Les Darcy, and challenged legends like Mike and Tommy Gibbons, as well as the relentless Harry Greb, against whom he even scored memorable victories. Even as losses began to pile up, he remained a warrior, willing to face anyone. His career spanned more than 160 official contests, and over 100 no-decision bouts, a marathon few could endure. To the crowds, George was the embodiment of toughness, the miner's fist that never gave up. As the years passed, George Chip's body no longer responded with the same speed. Between 1918 and 1922, victories grew rare until he decided to hang up his gloves and return to a simple life in Newcastle. There, far from the spotlight, He was remembered by neighbors only as the miner who once became world champion. In 1960, at the age of 72, fate brought a tragic ending. Struck by a car near his home, he died 2 days later. Even so, his name remained etched in the memory of boxing, as the champion who rose from the dark mines of Pennsylvania to challenge giants. George Chip was more than a prize fighter. He was living proof that even in the depths of coal, a spark can be born bright enough to light entire arenas. His legacy echoes like the metallic strike of a pickaxe, hard, relentless, eternal.